philosophers who state with confidence that miracles occur all around us every day. And that with a heightened awareness, we will be able to see these miracles, recognize the angels that walk among us. Hello, I'm Robert Culp. When mankind first began to reason, miracles became an issue. As man came to define the natural laws with science, logic, and mathematics, some miracles disappeared. An eclipse was no longer a miracle and could be calculated in advance. A falling star became a meteor, a rock ignited by the friction of Earth's atmosphere. One by one, nature's laws were written, and the reasoning community of man accepted them. But there are still events which defy nature's laws. There are still miracles occurring.
Hello, I'm Michelle Wolford, segment producer for Could It Be a Miracle?
And I'm Bob Evans, producer. As the various members of our miracle research team, the writers, producers, directors, video crews, go about their work across the country, Michelle and I will present their files for your consideration.
On today's program, I have interviews with Karen Goldman, author of the book Angel Encounters, and Joan Wester Anderson, author of the new book Where Wonders Prevail.
We'll look into several files and see if something miraculous is at work. These files include a dramatic car chase, a woman confronted by a threatening gang, a ghostly intervention, a young man who encounters his mirror image in a train station,
a busload of children, and a mysterious hitchhiker.
For our first segment, Michelle traveled to New Jersey to visit with Eileen Freeman.
We first heard about Eileen in Joan Wester Anderson's first book, Where Miracles Happen, and the Could It Be a Miracle crew caught up with her in her home.
Angels come into our sphere of reference because we need help in some way. They don't come to have a cup of tea. They're beings on a mission who have a purpose in what they do. Now, angels are not the only means by which we can receive help. God has an infinite number of ways of helping us along the path, most often through other loving human beings, things we read, pennies on the street, and certainly through angels.
Seems like when angels come, oftentimes it's in subtle ways. They don't always come right out and introduce themselves.
Remember that angels are neither divine nor human. And if you see them in that perspective, usually you can feel the brush of the angel's wing, speaking metaphorically, of course, in your daily life, the intuition that you never expected, the guidance that came to you without knowing it, the hand extended that was a totally strange hand that disappeared. Very often those are the hallmarks of the angel's presence. I was in college in New York City at the time, and I was not thinking much about angels at that time. As anyone who's in college knows, there are a lot of things to distract you. I was very much involved in social action issues, political issues. Visit a friend who lived in a nearby apartment. Now in New York, if you're not walking with anybody and you feel a hand on your shoulder, you expect the worst. When I first felt the hand on my shoulder, I thought I had imagined it, but there really was nobody nearby. I couldn't believe that this was going to be another angelic visitation. So I started to go into the building thinking it was my imagination. And that's when the hand became very insistent, pulled me back off the step, and when I actually heard the voice. Now, I never saw the angel, but the voice was unmistakable.
What do you want?
It is not wise to go in there now.
I recognized it immediately as my guardian angel. Now, don't ask me how. Very few people can give you rational explanations for this. It's a kind of spiritual connection that the individual knows. Well, I went across the street where there was a little church I knew would be open, just so I could think about that. After all, even though angels won't force you into anything, if they suggest that something is not a wise idea, you do well to heed it. I started to hear sirens. Well, you always hear sirens in New York, so I ignored them for a while, but they got louder and there were more of them and more insistent until I was curious. And I went outside the church and stood in front. And I went across the street, but one of the men in uniform fended me off and said, "I'm sorry, you can't go in there now."
You can't go in there.
What happened? What's wrong? My friend lives here. He's expecting me.
You better go find a phone and call him because you cannot go in there.
What happened?
A young lady has just been murdered in the elevator. Now, please, everyone, stand back.
And I thought, if I hadn't heeded the angel's words, it was very likely that I would have been that person in the elevator. And it reminded me again of the angel that is always very close to each of us. In this case, I heeded the warning.
What are your impressions of Eileen?
She has taken a very academic approach to her study of the supernatural. She has been reading and writing about the subject of angels since she was 5 years old. She has a master's degree in theology, and she's written numerous books. She also publishes a newsletter.
We'll have the address of Eileen's Angel Watch newsletter at the end of the show. We'll be right back with an interview with Brad Steiger and a miraculous story from his book, Amazing Moms.
Yes, a little boy is near death in a hospital, and a mother's prayers are all that can save him.
Stay tuned for more miracles.
Brad Steiger and Sherry Hansen Steiger have co-authored numerous books on the miraculous. And one of our favorite research tools here at Could It Be a Miracle is their book, Amazing Moms.
In a recent interview, Brad shared a story with our staff of a mother's devotion to her ailing son. Her prayers brought about a miraculous intervention.
One of the ways that Sherry and I acquire a lot of our research material is from readers of other books, or when we do appearances on shows such as this. People are touched and send in their own marvelous stories. And this is one of those that we particularly like. This happened to a woman, Ida Cantrell, her daughter Julie are the principals, and then the son, who was very, very ill. And the doctors had all but given up. They said they were losing the little boy.
Mom, how's Buddy?
Not so good, honey.
He'll be okay, won't he?
Right now, your brother needs us. He needs our prayers.
Julie is only 8, 9 years old. She's very, very upset. She wonders if it's something she's done that displeased God. And the mother, no, Julie, never think that. They're a very religious family. Daddy drives a truck. He can't be there, but he is on the way. And Mama says to little Julie, let's all pray. And we know that Daddy, he's coming in that truck, and he's praying too. The doctors, they've given up. The doctors say he's not going to make it, but we know the power of prayer. And we know that there's a power above that of any doctor, of any earthly power. And let's pray. After a time, a tall, almost elegant, stately nurse comes walking in.
I must have dozed off.
Me too.
She looks at the boy, and they can just see the love in her face. And she says, I think I know what will help him. And the mother says, oh, if you know, please help us, nurse. The doctors say there's no hope. The doctors say he's gone, he's too far gone. The nurse smiles and says, well, we'll see about that. She takes a syringe, and she gives the boy an injection. And she says, I know this will help. I believe and I know this will help. And little Julie is just crying and crying. She's used all of her Kleenex and handkerchief, and so the nurse says, here, little girl, and she gives her a beautiful handkerchief.
Don't give up hope, honey.
And she sees that it's embroidered with the initials of the nurse. And she says, well, I'll give it back to you. I'll take good care of it. And the nurse says, well, that's okay, Julie. Well, time passes.
Thank you, God.
Mom, he's gonna be okay.
The doctor comes in, looks at the little boy, and gets excited. He says, there's something going on here. There's been an improvement. And they're saying, oh, praise the Lord and thank the Lord. And he says, there's been a dramatic improvement. And the mother speaks up and says, well, I know it was that nurse. It was that nurse that came in and gave him a shot. The doctor says, what nurse? I haven't authorized an injection. There's been no nurse here. There's been no nurse in this room. Oh, yes, this nurse came in and gave him a shot and said she knew he's going to be all right. Well, he is all right. And in a few days, they're leaving the hospital. A miracle has occurred.
Mom, before we go, I think we should find that nice nurse so I can give her back this.
I almost forgot.
And they come up to the desk and say, you know, we want to give this back to this nice nurse who came and gave it to little Julie to dry her tears.
Well, according to Buddy's records, no nurse logged in at 4:45, and no injections were authorized or scheduled.
Well, here's the handkerchief she gave me.
M.A.T. Well, no one on this floor has these initials. I'm sorry.
Did you say M.A.T.? You know, there was a young nurse worked here many years ago, Mary Ann Taggart, sweetest gal in the world. Dreamed of being a pediatrician because she loved children so much. But she was killed in a car accident. Some of us old-timers like to believe that her spirit lives on, just to help these little ones get better.
Wherever she came from, whatever she injected, whether it was angel love or angel power or God's own love, it did the trick. The child recovered. Was it an angel taking the form of this nurse? Was it a benevolent spirit coming back, still there in the hospital, still looking after, in its own way, the children? Whatever it was, angel, benevolent spirit, it was a miracle. and it was a miracle that brought a boy back to health and kept a very happy family here on earth.
Brad Steiger and Sherry Hansen Steiger do extensive research on their files.
And they share with us the way they search out miracles on an upcoming episode.
Master of the subtle upcoming tease.
Stay tuned for more miracles.
Featuring interviews with Karen Goldman and Joan Wester Anderson.
When we come back.
Once I was riding my bike and I fell off and my knee started bleeding, but my guardian angel helped me, so it wasn't all messed up and my knee wasn't broken.
Karen Goldman, for whom the study of angels is an ongoing endeavor, is the author of Angel Encounters. She lives in Arizona, and that's where we interviewed her. In our first conversation, we discussed angels, miracles, and the sometimes life-saving effect the miraculous can have on one's life.
Karen Goldman shares the story of Nancy Spencer, for whom an innocent ride in her new car nearly took a deadly turn.
All I can tell you is that the people that I interviewed who have had angel visions and experiences were some of the nicest people I've ever spoken to in my life. There's a case, I'll tell this story, of a car. A woman just bought a new BMW.
Now, on those nice days, you make use of that convertible top.
I will.
You've got all the power and speed you could want for your city driving, all the comfort anyone could ask for those long-distance trips. I think you're really going to be happy with it.
Oh, I think I will be too. Oh, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Carr. I'll take care of you if you take care of me and keep me safe.
And she's driving toward an intersection. About 40 miles an hour. She didn't see anyone in front of her. She was about to go through the intersection and suddenly her car stopped. She would have been in the intersection at exactly the moment that they were speeding through if something hadn't happened like that. And as soon as the cars went through, her car automatically went on again. She said that she could feel these wings brushing against her cheek for a couple of minutes.
We've gone through the entire engine, the entire electrical system. It all checks out fine.
All right, then. Bye-bye.
And she hadn't had any association with angels at all. It was a foreign concept to her until then. They're messengers between earth and heaven. You know, traditionally we think of it that way, and we've been told that, and it's true. That's why angels are so popular. They're so attractive to people. They're, you know, they're someone. They have a form. they're beautiful, and they're connections between the unseen, inexplicable realm of God, let's say, and earth and our humdrum lives. And somehow angels are able to move between them, between these two realms, and so they bring us heaven, and we also can connect in our hearts with them and feel that they will take us to God when we need some attention from there.
The moment when the car stalled took place soon after the purchase of the car. So some people might think that's merely a coincidence, the way a new car takes some getting used to, the mechanical oddities of a new car.
Or was Nancy just lucky when her car stalled? And when is good luck a term the logical mind uses to diminish a potentially miraculous event? I think the key to this file is that Nancy felt a presence after the lucky moment, the brush of an angel's wing.
We'll be back with another brush with the miraculous,
including an interview with Joan Wester Anderson,
and the chilling tale of a traffic accident involving a busload of children, and the miraculous call for help received by the one man who can save them. Welcome back to Could It Be a Miracle? We have more files of extraordinary and supernatural occurrences for you to consider.
In our next file, a young man's concept of himself is altered and his life is saved during a strange encounter in a train station. Tom was attending his freshman year of college. An independent young man, Tom lived on a tight budget and was thrilled to get a discount ticket home for the weekend of his mother's birthday.
What's going on?
Well, one of the other guys in the dorm canceled out, and I snagged his train ticket for half price.
You're coming home?
You betcha. You saved me a drumstick.
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of starting without you.
All right, now listen, I'll call you as soon as I get into the station.
This is great news, Tom.
All right, I'll see you soon. Mom, I love you.
Oh, I love you too, hon. Bye.
At the train station, Tom selected a card to go with the gifts he had seen for his mother. He wasn't prepared for the odd response from the clerk.
$1.75. You change your mind?
Pardon?
About the birthday card.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. If you want this card too, that's fine with me.
It was as if the clerk thought Tom had already purchased a card. Tom sat down to wait for the Bay City train departure. As he wrote his name on the birthday card, Tom was struck by a wave of emotion. He was suddenly sad and then anxious. Everything around him seemed normal until he saw himself, or someone who looked just like him in every way, dressed exactly like him, same height, weight, and the other young man seemed not to be surprised at all upon seeing his double. When the double turned to walk away, Tom pursued. The loudspeaker announced his train departure.
Attention, the train to Bay City, Maywood, and Point North is loading on platform 3. All aboard.
But Tom had to talk to this lookalike, had to make sure the other young man was real. When Tom chased the mysterious double outside, the mirror image young man was gone. Then Tom realized the train was departing. He ran to try and get on board. Too late. The train had left the station. Not one to break a promise, Tom was determined to get home for his mother's birthday. It didn't take long for a student outside University Station to get a ride. And it was far down the highway that Tom and his driver discovered an accident.
What is it, officer?
Bad accident up ahead. Where you headed?
Big City.
You have a detour up 12 here. Pick up 20 at Alton. Shouldn't slow you up too much.
Thanks. What happened up there anyway?
18-wheeler decided to tangle with the train at a University Station. Got some folks hurt pretty bad.
Didn't you say that was the train you missed?
Yeah, I'm glad I did.
There on the roadside was the smiling devil, his mirror image.
Oh, Tom, we heard about the train wreck on the radio. We've been worried sick.
Your brother said you called from the station. What happened?
Well, I completely missed the train, you know? It was the oddest thing. I was waiting, reading a book, and across the station I see this other kid. My age, you know, he's just dressed in exactly what I'm wearing. I mean, he looked enough like me to be me. So I decided to hitch a ride, you know, get home. I wait, what, 5 or 10 minutes, and this guy picks me up. We're driving down the road, and we come to where the police have blocked it off, you know, because of the accident. And I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I saw him again. The very same guy, just standing there.
Why don't I open your card, and then we'll get dinner going.
Honey?
The card had 2 signatures.
Ted? I didn't write this.
This boy you saw today. You say he looked identical to you?
Well, I didn't get real close, but yeah. Except for a colored spot or a mark over his eye.
Tom, we've never talked about this before because we just didn't think it was necessary. But when you were born, you had a twin, a brother. He looked just like you, except he had a birthmark over his eye. We named him Ted. He only lived a few days.
We never thought we should burden you with our grief over it.
He was looking out for me. He kept me from getting on that train.
This is more than just a case of a young man's life being saved, isn't it?
Yes, it was an opportunity for Tom to discover a lost sibling and for his family to embrace a much-missed loved one.
And it's a heartwarming story as well. When we come back, Michelle will share her visit with Joan Wester Anderson.
A story about a nurse with an angel at her side.
George Bernard Shaw was born in Dublin in 1856 to a family who had fallen from the wealth of the upper middle class to poverty. Shaw became known as GBS, and after he moved to London in 1876, he became the most important British playwright to follow Shakespeare. In addition to 50 plays, GBS is well known for his letters, music, theater criticism, and for the Nobel Prize, which he won with one of his greatest works, St. Joan, in 1925. George Bernard Shaw had his own unique slant on miracles. In his 1921 work, Back to Methuselah, he writes, "A miracle is an impossible thing that is nevertheless possible, something that never could happen, and yet does happen." Millions of people share Shaw's sentiments. The Miracle Research Team is dedicated to finding the impossible thing that never could happen, and yet does happen.
Michelle and her crew traveled to Chicago to visit with Joan Wester Anderson. Michelle, you're already smiling.
Joan is a delightful lady. Her first book, Where Miracles Happen, sold over 1 million copies, and her latest book, Where Wonders Prevail, is about to hit the shelves. Now, Joan actually began writing on this subject in 1973 and has published over 1,000 articles.
We'll present one of Joan's favorite stories next, a story our segment producers have titled, Light the Way Home.
She had been a special duty nurse who was staying with a client rather than nursing at a hospital and having her shift end. She was usually used to going home at about 6 o'clock when the sun was breaking. But that particular night, her client's wife said, "Why don't you go home early? I'm going to be up most of the night. I'll keep an eye on him." And so she drove her usual route, not realizing what a deserted, dark area it really was, because she never saw it at that time of night, about 2:30, 3 o'clock.
You know it's your initiation night, man.
Man, shut up. I'm giving orders. What? Give me that. You ready?
You ain't ready.
Next car is the one.
The one with a chick?
Yeah, I get her first.
Sure.
You ready to do this?
I was so terrified that I forgot where reverse was in order to throw the car into reverse and shoot back. She said she was just absolutely paralyzed with fear. She couldn't even remember if she had locked the car.
Lady, I'm not playing with you. Open this door. God help me. Lady, open the door. Oh, God help me. Man, I ain't playing.
She, of course, hoped that her heart rate would return to normal. She simply drove on, and the lights came with her. They stayed right with her for about 2 miles, and then finally, as she approached her own neighborhood, the light turned off at a particular place and kind of went away as if a truck was saying goodbye. She went home and she told her husband what had happened and where the truck had pulled off.
What time is it? Fayette?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
Yeah.
How's Mr. Williams?
He's okay. His wife let me go home early.
What's the matter?
Well, something horrible happened on the way home. These guys came after me with knives and guns and chains.
Oh, honey.
And I just know they were going to kill me. I know they were. And then this light came out of nowhere, and it scared them away.
Did the police come?
No, but Bob, the light followed me most of the way home. And it turned off by the Anderson house.
Honey, there's no turnoff at the Anderson house.
I know. I don't know if it was a semi or...
I know. Doesn't matter.
I'm so happy I'm home.
I'm just glad you're home.
There was no way that any large vehicle could have turned off in that spot. She had forgotten, too, that the way there had been filled in and landscaped some time before. So she doesn't know if it was a truck. She doesn't know if it was a choir of angels. She doesn't know anything except that she was saved and she's still safe. And she doesn't worry too much on those long drives anymore because she knows she doesn't go alone.
Joan does impressive research when she's collecting material for her books.
No doubt influenced by the fact that she was a journalist for many years.
She'll be discussing her research techniques with us on an upcoming show, which will focus on the way experts in the field of miracles find and select their stories.
Stay with us. In our next file, a story about a doctor whose call to action isn't from any earthly source.
When a tragic accident involves a busload of children, did Dr. Mike Barnes play a part in a miracle?
Our closing file has appeared in numerous reports.
I first discovered the story in Kelsey Tyler's book, There's an Angel on Your Shoulder.
The story contains several elements that researchers in this field identify as miraculous.
Our file is titled Dr. Barnes and the Hitchhiker.
I don't know how you can just sit there and stare at that thing all day.
Grandpa, have a seat.
What is it? Another miracle cure?
Who knows? We just work and hope.
Benjamin, you've been out of medical school now for 6 years. When are you going to practice real medicine? Working face to face with patients, with hands-on healing, it gives the doctor something magical. That there's something out there. Something you won't even be able to understand unless you get out there and experience it.
I know. You remind me every time you see me.
Whatever happened to that doctor's bag I gave you when you graduated from medical school?
It's in my car. I always carry it with me.
You know, there's more miracle cures in that bag than in that thing.
Even when the doctor took his vacation, he hesitated to leave his busy research center activities behind.
Rachel, I left some dictation on the machine at the office. I need you to get started on it as soon as you get in Monday. Also, there's an important appointment change I need you to make. I'm starting to get out of range. Signal on this frequency is breaking up. I'm going to dial again.
I'm sorry, your call cannot be completed. You are out of the service area.
There are many crossroads in life, opportunities to go in one direction or another. On this day, the doctor reached a crossroad, and there he saw a young hitchhiker. The boy's gaze locked into his. And the doctor pulled over and offered a ride.
Hi, how you doing? You're a bit young to be out hitching rides, wouldn't you say? Where's your mom and dad? Where are you going? Okay, we're on our way. Great. 12 years of medical school and I can't communicate with an 8-year-old. This where you're going? Okay, don't worry. I'll get you where you need to go.
It was a blacktop road off the main highway. The boy became more and more agitated as they drove along until the doctor saw evidence of a recent wreck.
What happened here?
A school bus had overturned and slid down the embankment. Screaming children pounded on the windows, unable to escape. Now, the reactions of a true medical doctor took over, as natural as his own quickened heartbeat.
This is 911. Your name, please?
Yes, my name is Dr. Benjamin Powell. I'm at the site of an accident. The school bus has gone off the road and rolled over 2 miles north on Mill Creek Canyon, just south of Big Falls.
Outside of Taylorville?
Yes, that's right. Please, there's been injuries. Hurry.
I got you. Hold on.
The driver's hurt, and a lot of the kids, too.
The medical bag, his grandfather's gift, saved over a dozen lives that afternoon.
Here you go, young lady. You'll be fine now. Excuse me. What's the status of the driver?
Heart attack. Must have been where he lost control and crashed. We've got him stabilized.
Is that it? Are all the kids out?
Bringing up the last one now.
Wait.
It's too late for this one, Doc. Probably died on impact.
The boy who died was the same boy he had picked up on the roadside. But that would be impossible. Then he found the ball cap. And he realized it was not impossible. It was a miracle.
Our researchers, writers, producers, and crews are preparing for next week.
The stories we present here are an attempt to explain the extraordinary, to explore those events that fall outside the realm of natural laws.
As we've researched, we've asked ourselves one question.
The same question we hope you've asked.
Could it be a miracle?
Will miracles always remain a mystery? Perhaps. But for now, the Miracle Research Center team continues to take bold strides toward understanding these inexplicable events. We'll be back next time with more of these cases. In the meantime, think about what you've just seen and ask yourself, could it be a miracle? Until next time, I'm Robert Culp.
Laudamus Dei.